Alright, the Thunder had yet another slow start, and some of it was the Wolves' interior defense not letting them get anything easy inside, so that meant they couldn't open up their 3-ball. They're a team that needs a rhythm off those, because those turn into paint touch sprays, but without them, they just end up settling from deep, and there were too many quick pulls in transition. At least Lou was wetting them throughout, Zay was diming on those back doors, and more importantly, Shai was always getting to his spots, so they had consistent offense through him. He was taking players off the dribble on his ones, eating the space from the Wolves' bigs dropping into SNRs, and was generating good looks for the others, but without the help of Dub in his two-man game with Zay, it was basically all him in the first half. That was a contrast compared to the Wolves because they generated much better looks, and just couldn't make enough of them, so they couldn't get real control of the game. They were eating the space from Zay dropping into SNRs, but when he was up on a couple instances late in the clock, they still made the right dimes, and their two stars were always making the right sprays on their post-ups. They should have even capitalized against the Thunder's zone more, but at least Ant got going in the second, and Nas was always aggressive with his touches. He was their most consistent player throughout, but at the same time, he was a part of their turnover issues that cost them the game, and those were even more consistent than him. They kept trying to make passes with small windows or turning it over in the backcourt, and it didn't hurt him that much in the first half, but it eventually caught up to him in the second half, especially the third. The Thunder's adjustment was to have Zay aggressively show off Ant screens, and they were even just selling to take him out the game, so he either had to get off the rock or got forced into turnovers and tough shots. The same thing even happened to Julius whenever they sold on him, and it was obvious their defensive effort was way up, so their rotations and ball pressure kept leading to them either taking the rock or forcing the Wolves into losing it and rushing passes. If it wasn't a turnover, it was a late clock brick, and all of those just compounded for quick buckets that got them into a rhythm, so their entire offense started opening up for a ridiculous momentum shift. Those easy finishes turned into paint touches for Trays, Dub finally got that two-man game with Zay going, and Shai was still getting his, so it was basically a 36-10 run for a 26-point swing by the end of the quarter. The only reason it wasn't more was because of Mike Conley's 3 straight Trays earlier, and one of the reasons the Wolves were able to run it back in the fourth was because of Nas. They just kept feeding him on that left side to get his, and surprisingly, they were getting stops, so they managed to get within one possession in the last 3 minutes. But he had 2 costly turnovers that derailed any chance of winning the game, and Shai hit a timely dagger, so it was only fitting the same problems at the start of the night were the same ones at the end. Just watch the tape.